Today, I turned 25 years old. And last night in Atlanta, it snowed. I don't know when the last time it snowed on my birthday was. This is so special, I love it. I wanted to film this, to share this, to talk about some thoughts that I have as I turn 25. I'm a quarter centurion. After all, I'm doing this, I'm filming these occasionally to have small snippets and records of what my life is like right now, so that I can always go back and revisit it and see that and see what things were like. A couple of amazing things happened while I was 24 last year. Ann and I bought a place and we're happily living there now and designing that and building furniture for that. That is so cool. We decided to stay in Atlanta, obviously. I mean, we kind of decided that before we bought the place. I marked off my first full year of working experience. I think that's not to be overlooked, because going from school to full-time work was the biggest shift and change that I had ever gone through in my life. I don't think anybody ever talks about that, but it's monumental. Your whole lifestyle changes. And for me, it was really difficult the first 6 to 8 months adjusting to that. I think also the projects that I was involved with, I'm in management consulting, and the projects that I was involved with the first year were so much harder than the projects that I'm involved with now, because I didn't know a lot, I was still developing, and I didn't have a lot of confidence in what I was doing. But the people I'm working with now are great. They're fantastic, and I would recommend to anybody who's out there who's trying to understand what can make their job satisfaction better is going to be to look for people who you enjoy working with on a day-to-day basis. Another big thing for me was running my first marathon. In June, I ran the San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon with my buddy Hunter, who's an amazing person, who I love. And we have decided to run the Chicago Marathon this year and try to run the New York City Marathon this year. But I'm super excited about that, and I think for me, running is something that is important to do because it's work. It's definitely work. I always find it hard to wake up in the morning before I'm doing whatever else I'm doing that day and say, I am going to go for a 3-mile run. I'm going to go for an 8-mile run. I'm going to go for a 10-mile run. And then to do that several times a week, 4 times a week, and then wake up on the weekend and say, I'm going to go for a 15-mile run. I'm going to go for an 18-mile run. At this point, I'm just kind of wandering, just kind of bragging. But I think the point that I want to get across to anybody out there is that, you've got to do stuff that you love. You've got to do stuff that makes you excited, that doesn't make sense, that is just yours. You got to do it all for you. You got to put in the work because you get out of it what you put into it. And I think that's really just a lesson for life. You get out of it what you put into it. God, I just love the fresh snow. We barely ever get snow in Atlanta, so this is really a special occasion. Especially for it to be on my birthday. That's so cool. My camera's slowly giving up on me because it feels like -1 in Atlanta, which is in and of itself got to be some record. So maybe this will be the last thing, but I just want to also say to all of my friends that are going through this same experience, whether they're turning 25 or turning 26 or even turning 24, I think as you start to get older, you start to get out of college, you start to get into the real world, I think we all start to feel a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of FOMO, a little bit of maybe I'm not measuring up to something that I should be. There's some bar that I'm not reaching. And I just want to say to everybody, don't let your life be defined by the age that you are or expectations that you think are out there for you. Just live your life. Just be happy. Just seize the day. Because I feel like this will only continue. And I'm looking forward to hitting 35 and 45 and 55. And it's crazy to think, but it'll be here before we know it, and there's nothing you can do about it. So just pack as much into each and every year as you can and live without regrets. I always thought that Stan Smiths were really hot shoes. Like, my feet sweat a lot, but they sweat ton in Stan Smith's, and I have found that they are the perfect snowshoe. I'm not wearing any socks or anything. I've just got bare feet in these shoes, and even in -1 temperatures, which is very rare for Atlanta, my feet feel pretty comfortable. So I've proven my hypothesis that these shoes are on hot. I'm lucky to be home this week, and I'm going to spend today curled up, unfortunately working a lot, but from home with Anna and Pepper and talking to the people who I love, and I just feel like the luckiest guy in the world for being able to do that. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be turning 5 today. Life is good. Life will be especially good after a couple of cups of coffee. My kick lately has been the counterculture Edido. Really good stuff. Really liking Ethiopian coffees these days. Okay.